Okay, welcome back everyone to another episode of Yoda's Hut featuring Star Wars Destiny gameplay from the Gamers Armory in Cary, North Carolina. I'm Bill, I go by Yoda Man on the boards, and once again I'm joined for commentary on this game by Derek. Hey Derek, how's it going today?
Doing pretty good.
All right, so in this game, I am on the right playing a deck that is Qui-Gon, Rey, and a Padawan, and I'm playing a guy I actually just met that evening, a newcomer out at Gamers Armory. His name was Ryan. He had just gotten into Destiny. He didn't have a lot of cards, but he had a deck with Han, a Rebel Trooper, and Hired Gun. So interesting matchup here as we get started. I guess we just roll it out and he's looking at my battlefield, which I had the Echo base one for the shields. And I'm not sure which battlefield he actually had. Again, we kind of don't have the camera set up to catch it. It's kind of hanging out there right on the side, but I'm not sure what it is. So, but whatever it is, we're using his. It might have been Starship Graveyard to get
hmm
probably get the upgrades back, but don't hold me to that.
That's one I seem to see a lot. A lot of people are using that one.
Yeah, well, I guess it makes sense with when you're using Han and Rey, for instance. But all right. So he
Mm.
is using Street Informants here. I think he
Yeah,
played
that's not a bad card. I haven't. I don't think it's great, but I think it's not terrible.
right. I think it lets you see your opponent's hand or something.
Yeah, it's a support. You can exhaust it to look at your opponent's hand, but it has ambush. So the first time you do it, it's really for free.
Right, right.
But it's just foreknowledge, so you can use it every turn and then know what you're up against
Right.
in terms of events and so on.
All right. So he just rolled the hired gun in, and I put Jedi Robes on Rey, so I'll get to give her two shields and then take an extra action, and well, guess I'll probably go ahead and roll her in as soon as I find my Jedi Robes die here. Probably off to the
hmm
side. I'm still trying to find a good way to actually organize my dice. Maybe you got some tips for people watching out there. I don't know how you do it, but I basically bought like a container that you might use for like craft stuff. To be honest with you, but I still wasn't sure how I wanted to separate my dice in it. And since I went out there and got new cards that evening from trading, they were just kind of all over the place in there. So I was like trying to dig stuff out, and I basically had every die with me that I owned, so they weren't easier. So
I've tried a few things, and so far none of them have really worked.
okay, fair
I've
enough.
kept those plastic containers that the starter kits came in, that hold like
Right,
18 dice, I think.
yeah,
I've right now got four of those plastic things with a lid on, kept the lid and put it on top of one of them and put four rubber bands around them to
okay,
hold. So that's got 72 of my dice between those four shelves. And then the rest I've just piled into like the little individual boxes that sometimes FFG is giving out as promos, for various games. And I've got one box that's just piled with like another 60 dice in it, and it's when you got to find one that's not right on top, it's a pain no matter how you do it.
yeah. So he's spending a resource to play something. I can't tell what it is. I wonder if that was negotiate. So I had to remove two dice
Mm,
because I saw him remove his rebel trooper die. Yeah,
yeah.
that must have been what it was. So I left Ray's +2 out there, and I left the Padawan's resource out there.
Yeah.
And he did do 2 damage to the Padawan with the hired guns there. The hired guns can really pump out some damage, but every damage side costs you a resource, so you have to kind of build around that if you're wanting to do things.
Yeah, well, the hired gun, two sides of them is a resource also. So if you
Right, so
get
that
a
helps.
couple of those guys, I've seen a deck with two of those with Akbar, who also has two resources, and just pumping resources out every turn like you wouldn't believe. I've seen three, four, five resources collected in one action,
Yeah.
in multiple times in the same game against me.
Yeah, so I just played take cover. Before I put the shield on Qui-Gon, I took a shield off and then did a damage to his rebel trooper. And then he is looking at my hand again. I'm
hmm
not sure what he played there, but it got rid of a card. I wonder if he played probe.
I got rid of 2 cards.
Yeah, 2 cards because I had events. So
They were both events, yeah.
yeah, I guess I think I must have claimed there after he did that, or maybe he claimed. I'm not sure what happened there. One of us obviously claimed because we reset. So maybe I claimed and then he played probe.
And we're using his battlefield though, so we don't know
Right,
exactly what
right. I
what
think when
it is yet.
I think when I took it, I moved it back to my side. At some point, I claimed it, so then maybe we can see what it was.
You got to be careful too running that one that lets you put upgrades back on top of your deck. I
Right.
had a buddy who was running that against me, and I had played a thermal detonator and blown it up, and then claimed the battlefield and put my thermal back on top of my deck and played it and did it again
Yeah.
the next
So
turn. So
I put Ray's staff on her and then rolled her out. So I got the special on her staff, which I think lets you remove a melee or range damage die. And I got
hmm
2+1 resources. And he's rolling the hired gun and got it blank. Um, I noticed. So Ryan was kind of new here. He wasn't spinning his cards. He had a friend that came with him who I think at one point started telling him to like turn his cards. So I knew what was going on. Yeah, I was kind of paying attention, but it does help there. Just rolled in Qui-Gon that time after he rolled Han in and just got a
yeah,
resource.
I'm finally getting used to tapping my cards when I roll the dice. I still haven't been doing that for forever.
Right.
So it's playing the LCG where you don't have to do that. It's been so long since I've had to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it does help keep track of things, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
what did he just play there? Did he play another Street Informants? Oh, he just discarded something's re-rolling.
Mm.
Yeah, see, now one of the things he did that, again, since he's newer to the game, like he rolled that Rebel Trooper out early where he probably should have waited till I had damage showing to use the Guardian part on it.
Yeah, the, it's really useful for protecting specific characters. So,
That's interesting.
um,
I
yeah,
used one of the resources and one of the +1 resources to get 2 resources, and I left the other +1 out there. And now, what's he playing there? Is that can't tell? Is that disarm or no? I can't tell what that
mm,
is. He removed the die.
I can't either. It was glaring too much.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, I
maybe it
can't
was
tell what
something
it
he
was.
couldn't actually play, and he.
Oh, he backed up. Okay.
Yeah, and now he's gonna play Let the Wookiee Win. So I
Mm.
was gonna either have to remove 2 resources or do 2 damage to one of my exhausted characters, and I'm
Yeah, just
probably gonna
take
take
him
two.
off the shields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I took 2 off there. I think that was what it was. I think he went to play something that actually didn't make sense to play at that point. So I'm gonna do the take cover and probably do the Qui-Gon trick again.
hmm
Do another one of the Rebel Trooper. Try to get rid of that thing just to get rid of the Guardian. But now that the higher gun too, I'm just kind of looking at it like it's pretty good. 8 cost for 9 health. It's
Oh
a
yeah,
sturdy unit.
it's very good.
Yeah, so he re-rolled and
And
got disrupt in a blank. It looks like, and I think I took another. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm giving the Padawan a lightsaber, even though he's already exhausted. She is already exhausted, I should say, for 2 because she's got that basically a text that the first weapon upgrade you play on her, you can reduce the cost by 1. And
well, not
then
necessarily the first weapon upgrade. She has to have no upgrades
oh, no
on.
upgrades at all. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so if the first thing you put on her is a weapon, you reduce it by 1. But if
Yeah,
she's already got, like, if she'd already had Jedi Robes, for example, you would not have been able to reduce the lightsaber
gotcha.
cost.
Yeah, I said that wrong about the first upgrade you play as long as it's a weapon. Yes.
Mm.
He did disrupt, and then I guess I'm using 2 Qui-Gon's melee. I'm doing 2 to the hired gun, and then he looked at my hand somehow.
Yeah, I saw Force Protection. That's a
Yeah.
really good card.
Yeah, I just probably didn't have enough to play it.
Yeah, well, you will now. Now you got
Oh,
three.
okay. That I think that just is a clue of what his battlefield is. It's the one that you look at two cards, and if they're an event, you discard them. The
Oh, okay.
That's
So
Jedi
what
Temple. Yeah,
he's claiming with that and making you lose events that way.
right. That's what that was. Okay. Well, now we figured out what the battlefield was. That
Yep.
helps.
Yeah, Force Protection. I think you put that on. Well, normally I'd throw it on Qui-Gon, but you might just throw it on Rey because she's
Yeah.
got just as much health, and you can put the shields anywhere you want.
So he put the Han's blaster on Han, which has ambush, but it doesn't get that extra thing where you get to like do something to opponent's character die, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think it's when it comes into play, your opponent has to remove a die.
Yeah, I hadn't rolled yet, so.
Yeah, of their choice though.
Right.
So it would have been better if he'd played it right after you rolled your first unit.
And he just spun his cards there. I think that was when his friend said, "Turn your cards."
Yeah.
I said he was new to the game. He was newer than I am. I mean, I still feel like I'm pretty new. Well, as we've said before, everybody's pretty new at this point. I mean, really, the game's only been released en masse for about a month. I mean, if you got the cards pre-release, maybe you've been playing them a month and a half. If you
Yeah.
played on Tabletop Simulator, I guess you played limited versions of it from what I've heard people say for a few months, but still, I mean, this, you're going to expect mistakes. You're going to expect, like having to misplays of the cards because we're not reading them right, and just general, you know, logistical stuff with the game, like how you turn your cards and where you put the cards. Everybody's still kind of getting used to it. So I just
Look
played
like
Force Throw.
Yeah, you replaced your Jedi Robes with the Force Throw.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to go again here because that was something on Rey.
Right. That's probably why I did it. And let's
Well,
see.
now if you can get one more resource, you can play the other one as well.
Yep. So I
Which
got
it looks like you
melee,
did.
resource, 2 disruptor, whatever the disrupt side is on Force Throw.
That's it.
That's a 2, right?
It has both. It has a 1 and a
Okay.
2.
That looks like it's actually a 2.
Yeah, it might be.
He did some damage to the Padawan there. I got a.
Yeah, if you're okay with that, with the saber on there, you just move that because it's got redeploy.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I put her there. And he's re-rolling the Rebel Trooper. He's going to be able to kill the Padawan here. So I'm probably trying to figure out, do I want to get the resource or do I want to spin something?
I think you take the resource and get that force protection on Qui-Gon and move the lightsaber to Rey after she goes.
Yeah, and just kind of forfeit the focus die.
Or you could just use up the lightsaber die now and then move it to Qui-Gon so you get to use it a second time this turn.
That's interesting.
I don't know why you spun it, or if he's just able to kill you right now.
Oh, he didn't have any resources. That's why I did it. I just realized that.
Okay.
So he couldn't pay for the hired guns die.
Got it.
So that's why I decided I'll go ahead and spin it to the 3 for 1, and I should be able to kill that Rebel Trooper then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. I'll do 3 of the Rebel Trooper, kill the Rebel Trooper, and then I've got one more that I'm going to do from Rey's melee, and I did that to the hired gun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to wait to try to get Han last here, hopefully. Probably because he already had the shields on him.
Yeah, I find that I tend to go after Han last most of the time, unless I can get him early when he doesn't have any shields, which is pretty rare.
Right. I mean, usually if you're playing Han, you probably got stuff with ambush in the deck, even if you have limited access to cards like Ryan did in this game. Just there's going to be some cards like you're going to probably have. And I just rolled a big blank with Qui-Gon there to response to his blanks.
So are you still sitting at 2 resources now?
I think I just have one.
Oh, there's your support there. It looks like he just claimed again.
Yeah, he must have claimed, got rid of 2 of my events.
If you got one, I think you play that. Oh, you discarded it. I say you play that supporting thing that reduces cost.
Yeah. Well, I should still have that in my hand, so maybe I was just waiting to see.
Well, you only had the 2 cards, and you had that plus the protection thing, the force protection. I think I saw you discarded it right after you picked up your hand, and
Yeah.
then right before you re-rolled. So you must have pitched it.
Yeah, I guess I did. Maybe I thought at this point it wasn't going to be a big deal to have that because I've already got stuff out.
Yeah,
And I
it's
discarded
not a.
both of them and re-rolled. I got 2 damage from Qui-Gon, so that was probably a good choice there. So I got 4 damage total on the higher
Uh,
gun now.
that's a little more risky. You're in a pretty good position, but that force protection's a hard one to pitch, I think, because
Yeah.
its special is so good. You get 3 shields to distribute however you want. I can't remember what else is on it, but I know that's the best side of the die. That's the one I'm always hunting for. I can't remember, but I think it's got 2 sides of it have that as well.
Yeah, I actually just got that card that night too. I had, kind of when I was doing
Hmm.
my trading, so probably hadn't really looked at it closely enough to know what it did, and maybe I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
Um, so he's playing, what is that? Smuggling, discard a card, get a resource. But it has
yeah.
ambush, so he was able to give Han another shield, it looked like.
Yeah, because smuggling doesn't have ambush, but I think
Oh,
he's got that card where he gives a yellow an ambush. Is that out on the
oh
table
no.
or
Oh,
not?
maybe, no, sorry, Han already had 2 shields. That was my mistake there. So he just
Yeah.
discarded it.
Okay.
So I rolled the Padawan, the lightsaber. Looks like I got a shield and a resource.
Hmm.
Padawan's hanging on here. I'm just
Yeah,
going
he
to roll
is.
in Ray. I got the Force Throw special, the discard, and the three. Is that the 3-for-1 on Ray Staff? That's not bad.
Yeah.
He is playing Outpost. Okay.
I wonder how many cards are left in your deck. He might be trying to mill you at this point.
Yeah, I've burned a lot of cards in this game, so I just did Ray's Staff. I'm going to do 3 damage to the higher gun here.
Yeah, because the special on the outpost, I believe, is trigger the battlefield, as if you just resolved it.
Right.
So he'd be able to pitch events out of your hand again.
Yeah. Rolling Qui-Gon here. What did I get this time? Oops. And a shield. That'll be good. I can do a damage to that higher gun. I
Well, he's
want
only
to.
got 2 health now, I think,
Yeah.
left.
It's like he got resource, and disrupt. So I could use the force throw to like do a damage to the hired gun, right? Because you use force throw, it's just the value on the die. It doesn't have to actually be a discard.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, it's
using the
whatever the. Well, I mean, you could technically even throw one of your own dice to do that.
right.
You
So
could even use the raised staff
I
that
had
had damage.
I had 2 shields there, so I did that.
Oh, yeah.
I gave a shield one at a time to Qui-Gon, took him off, and then killed the hired gun. So now
Yep.
he's just got Han, and he does have the outpost support at least, which he just rolled its special.
Yep, so that'll. I hope you. If you got events, you better use them.
Yeah, I just played defensive stance.
Let's give 2 shields.
I gave the shields to the Padawan actually, and rather than Qui-Gon, I guess to try to keep it alive for another turn.
At this point, just the more dice, the better.
And I kept all kinds of non-event cards in my hand. Two
You
Luke's.
lucky though. You got 2 Luke's lightsabers. I only have one of those.
Yeah, I did. That's one of the few legendaries I have 2 of. I've got 2 of
Yeah,
those. I've also got 2 force chokes
yeah, that's
and
the other one I'm completely missing.
2 launch bays.
I got one of those. I had to trade to get it though.
Yeah. So I just rolled out. I guess I discarded and let's see, I'm gonna do a damage to Han, get rid of one of the shields. And I
Yeah.
wonder if I'll roll again. He's claiming, even though I don't. He already knows I don't have anything. So I would think I'm gonna discard something else and roll again, try to get some more damage.
Yeah, you're not playing all that stuff next turn, so
Right.
you might as well just keep what you plan to play and pitch the rest.
4-star special. It looks like 2 melee from the Padawan. So I guess I'll do 2 to Han. Finally got it damaged. Got rid of all the shields. And I'm just going to pass with the 4-star. Now, he will get to go first with Han. If he's got ambush, he can potentially resolve. But I'm glad I put those shields on the Padawan, even though I didn't get to use the Qui-Gon trick there. But I think it was probably worth it.
And now it's a matter of whether or not Han can get his 3 guns. Because he doesn't have elite Han, so he's only got one side of the die.
Right.
But he needs, I think he needs all 3 to kill the Padawan.
Yeah, and he just played Hunker Down on Han.
Hmm.
So that doesn't have ambush or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the Padawan, get her in there.
Yeah.
And I got a focus and a 3 for 1. That's not bad.
On melee, 3 for 1?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's the 3 for 1.
Yeah, because Hunker Down is discarded if you ever take melee damage.
Yeah. Or is it 2 for 1 on the lightsaber? I can't remember. Because that's the regular lightsaber, not
Ooh,
Luke's.
that's going to hurt.
Reversal. Ugh. Yeah.
I could actually kill the Padawan right there with that.
Yeah, he's going to kill the Padawan, although by doing that, the lightsaber die goes back on there, and then I should get to redeploy that. Am I going to forget?
Well, you left it out there. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking. I must have forgot to move it. Oh, maybe I'm not going to use it. I just replaced with Luke's lightsaber. Oh, or I'm pointing to the redeploy thing. I don't know if he'll let me move it or not. He's going to let me do it.
Yeah.
That was nice of him. I guess we're just playing for fun, both trying to learn here. Yeah, so I probably just forgot to slide it over.
Yeah.
And then I played Luke's lightsaber and got to roll everything out. So that's pretty good. I got the 3 for 1 and the +2 from Rey. So that's 5 damage right there.
I think she needs more hands to be able to use all that crap.
She's just taking after Grievous. You didn't realize that, did you?
Uh-huh.
That's really who her parents are. It was Grievous. The big twist coming up in episode 8.
Jesus. Grievous is like nothing but a head and a heart and a bunch of robot pieces.
Well, how else
like, he must have had one hell of an accident.
How else did you expect her to use all that stuff? So I'm just playing use the Force, and I'm going to move that lightsaber die to the +3.
Yeah.
That's 8 damage to potentially get on Han. That's not too shabby.
And you haven't rolled Qui-Gon yet.
I have not rolled Qui-Gon yet. He still hasn't rolled the Outpost yet.
Yeah, but Han only has, what is it, 11, is it 10 health?
Yeah, he's got 10 health.
So he's almost dead right now.
Yeah.
After you do that. Well, he got a shield, it looks like.
Is he playing Negotiate again, maybe? No. What is that?
I don't know where the shield came
Fight
from.
Dirty? What is that? I think he just played something that had ambush so he could get the shield.
Oh, I see.
And
it was probably aim or
no, it's
something that resolved one of his dice.
Yeah, it's some smuggler,
I think he did it. I think it was the same thing twice.
Yeah, and now he's rolling Outpost. And he got the 2 disrupt sides, so I'm going to spend 1 and do, I guess, 8 to Han. So he's got the shield, so he'll end up with 8 damage total. So I need to get 2 more in on him. And I've still got the lightsaber I could reroll, and I still haven't rolled Qui-Gon out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, with all the cards you got, I think you roll Qui-Gon and then you just start re-rolling.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially because shields are also going to be damages if you get them.
So, yeah, so he just discarded, and I got a resource on Qui-Gon. I probably won't do that.
No, you don't need it.
Yeah, he is claiming getting rid of
Oh,
my two events. I think I had Riposte in there. I could have done a damage to. Now he never used
uh,
Hunker Down to give Han the thing, and it probably should, and it should have gotten discarded technically because I hit Han with the melee damage.
yep.
But
Yeah, so it didn't matter either way.
so I took the resource and I took another resource from
Looks
the.
like you rolled the resource, yeah, with your one discard there.
Yep. So
No, you don't need much though. You just
no.
need 2 damage, I think.
Yeah, unless he gets a way to get a bunch of shields and can somehow get damage in on Han or Ray. But
Yeah, I mean they both have shields and they both are at full health. He's not gonna do anything significant here.
if he had Launch Bay instead of Outpost, he could do some significant damage. So he's playing another Street Informants, giving Han a shield. Looking at my hand,
Yeah,
I got a Riposte again. Jedi Robes, Awakening. I saw.
yeah. The riposte is a damage in itself.
Yeah, and he's gonna play second chance on Han.
Yeah, that'll prolong it a little bit.
Yep, it's gonna make me have to get a little more damage in here, but I've got a lot of damage potentially with these dice. Oh, there we go.
Mm.
I got 1 and a +3
And a special too, don't you?
and a special from the lightsaber. So he
Which is
rolled,
two unblockable.
yeah. So he rolled Han. I think he got the 3 from 1. So I guess I'm gonna do 4 to Han, which will technically would kill him, but then second chance will let him heal back up to only have 5
Mm.
damage on him. I think that's what we're counting here.
Yeah, if it's an exact kill, then he should have 5 left.
Yeah, it will be an exact kill because he'll have to use the shield and then add 4. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so he's going to get rid of second chance and then he'll have 5 damage total on him.
Yep. And you've got the saber, which will take out 2 of that, so you still got 3 more to do.
Yeah, and I still got one of Ray's dies out that I can re-roll, and I haven't rolled Qui-Gon yet. And I'm giving Qui-Gon Jedi Robes, and I think I'll probably use his trick here to
Yep,
do a
that's a
shield.
damage. Well, you should have. You didn't. I
No, I
don't
didn't.
know why you didn't do it there.
Oh, I still have that Riposte in my hand. That's probably why. I
No,
figured
yeah.
I'll do 2 damage with that rather than. So he re-rolled and just got a bunch of, got an extra +2 or +3, whatever's on the gun. I can't remember. So I'm probably gonna have to
Uh,
do the Riposte now to get the damage in before he. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna take 2 shields off Qui-Gon and do 2 damage to Han before he gets rid of my shields by shooting Han or shooting
mm,
Qui-Gon with Han. So back to 7. I need 3 more, and I can get 2 from
and
the
you,
lightsaber.
yep. So then you just need to get a damage between Qui-Gon and that Ray die you got out there.
Yeah, so he just did, looks like 4 to Qui-Gon. Oh, I hadn't even rolled
Mm.
Qui-Gon yet.
No, you hadn't.
That's going to
Uh,
help.
yeah, you gotta focus there. That'll let you fix the Ray die.
Yeah, or the Qui-Gon die if I want to.
Yeah,
He got the special there.
and make you discard more.
Yep. So it looks like I'm going to go ahead and resolve the focus die on Jedi Robes and switch Qui-Gon to 2 melee. Ryan is going to resolve the special on Outpost, which means he can use the battlefield ability as if he claimed it. He'll have to look at my hand, but I didn't have any events to discard. I'm going to use Qui-Gon's die to do 2 damage to Han. And now I'm not sure there's a lot Ryan can do here. He's going to claim, not that it's going to matter. I'm going to get to resolve the lightsaber die, do 2 unblockable to Han, and kill him. So I'm able to pull out the win in this game. So it was a fun game there trying to play Qui-Gon, Rey, and the Padawan against Ryan's Han, Rebel Trooper, and Hired Gun deck. Enjoyed the game against Ryan. He's a real friendly guy. It was nice to meet him out at Gamers Armory that night. Shout out, as always, to Gamers Armory for hosting these Star Wars game nights every Monday night. If you're ever in the Raleigh, Cary area, make sure you go out and check out the store. Scott Blanton's a great store owner and does a lot to support this game and other things like the LCG. We appear to have some technical difficulties right here at the end with Derek's mic, so let me thank him as usual for joining me for commentary, and thanks to all of you out there who are watching and supporting Yoda's Hut over the last almost year or so since we've been bringing videos. We hope you enjoy the addition of Destiny content. We'll be bringing you more Destiny games as well as more LCG coverage in the future. And thanks as always for watching. It's much appreciated. May the Force be with you. Until next time, it is your destiny.